over the last like 6 months or so, maybe 8 months, I'm not really sure.
Mhm.
It's been like 4 scenes a week.
Really?
Yeah. I think step fantasy role play is just one of those taboos where like people don't want to admit
Admit
that
it?
they're into
Yeah.
it, but the numbers speak
Yeah,
for
they
themselves.
do,
They
yeah.
have to be into it. We are kind of, addicts, especially when they get clean, but even when they're not, like we're very like obsessive and compulsive type of people.
Mhm.
And so when we find stuff that we like, we really
like
like it.
it.
Yeah. And
Okay.
we like get obsessed with it.
Yeah. Lights on or lights off?
I like the lights dimmed.
Okay. Oh, that's that's a good one. A planned scene or spontaneous?
I like planned. I'm
Okay.
a planned guy.
Because then you know what you're gonna do. And
Yeah.
social media DMs, blessing or a curse?
Also blessing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you ever get any like weird DMs?
Real voices, bold stories. This is the Lexis Star Show.
This show is presented by King Rilla. Welcome back to the show, guys. Today on the Lexis Star Show, we've got someone who's basically the VIP of adult content, a pro at making fans happy, racking up views, and keeping it real. Cut. And keeping it real the whole way. Please welcome Scott Stark. Thank you for being on the show.
Yes, I really appreciate you guys inviting me on.
So I know this is your first podcast, so
Yes.
I'm very honored to have popped your cherry.
Yes, I'm very excited. I've never done anything like this before, so it's a first.
First of many, because you're gonna do more. But I have
We'll
the
see.
privilege of saying that he was here first.
That's right.
All right, so let's get right into it. You've been doing adult content for quite some time,
A little bit.
a little bit.
Yeah.
How many years has it been now?
So my first ever scene was March 18th of 23. So
Okay.
in March of this year, it'll be 3 years.
Oh shoot! Okay, I thought it was a bit longer than that. You remember the exact date?
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. It's an important day for me.
Yeah.
Because, this is kind of gone. I wasn't ever expecting to like make it this far, really, when I started. So, yeah, I actually like kind of celebrate like
Your date.
yeah, my corniversary.
Your corniversary. Oh, that's a good one. I feel like ours was back in August. August.
I think it was a summer.
It was August, so I think I'm
Yeah.
gonna figure out when my corniversary
Corniversary, I like
is
that,
and celebrate it
Yeah.
at the same time. What were you doing before you got into this?
So, I feel like it's important to say that that I am a recovering
Mm-hmm.
addict. And I just in September I just celebrated 8 years clean
wow.
from all drugs and alcohol.
Congrats.
I don't do anything. I don't smoke weed or anything like that. I don't drink. I just say that because when I was in early recovery, kind of like a popular job to like get into was like working in rehabs.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I was doing before the industry. I started out as like a behavioral health technician. So it's basically just like a glorified babysitter for
Okay.
people that are in treatment. And but then I started working in the admission side of things. So working with like families and the clients themselves who are struggling and getting them to come into the facility.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot of just on the phone, working with people, trying to get them to get the help that they need. So I did that for about 4 years prior to being in the industry. And then my last year doing it, I did both simultaneously.
Nice.
Yeah.
It must be really fulfilling to do something that makes a difference in people's lives, right?
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things where like sometimes every once in a while it feels fulfilling.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the times it was frustrating, because you're working with people that like need help but don't necessarily
Want
always
it.
want help.
Yeah. But I feel like any job that you do is gonna get frustrating at some point,
For
right?
sure.
So, but I mean, at least you were doing something that was helping people, even though obviously they didn't want it. So you are ranked at 19 on PH.
Yes.
And you started in March of 2023. That's freaking awesome. How did you do that?
Well, I mean, I think the biggest reason for, the success that I've kind of found is probably like just being really consistent. For the first like 8 months, I released one scene a week. And then after that, it was 2 scenes a week for about a year and a half, almost 2 years, probably a year and a half. And then over the last like 6 months or so, maybe 8 months, I'm not really sure. It's been like 4 scenes a week.
Really?
Yeah.
And don't you feel like that's a bit too much though? Because I feel like it doesn't give, correct me if I'm wrong, but it doesn't give time for your other videos to like marinate. What do you think? Because I was doing 1 scene a week and now I'm doing 2.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like I look at my views sometimes and it's like, okay, I'm at like 30, 40K, but then eventually like, the numbers will go higher. But I do feel like once I started doing twice a week, maybe my views went a bit lower. What do you think about that?
Well, I have 2 amateur accounts, so I do 2 on one and 2 on the other. So when it comes to rank, like I think that's important to say that I split it between 2 different amateur accounts. And but so that second account that I made is relatively new. It's only like 6 to 8 months old. But the other account, yeah, I've stuck to 2.
Okay.
That one, I kind of cherry pick the scenes that I feel like are the best sometimes. So it's like a little bit more tailored towards like trying to make it the best as it possibly could be, But I have a ton of content and I think all of it is good.
Yeah.
Some of it is just better than others sometimes.
Yeah.
And there's so many variables that depend on that. But I don't think that I'm putting out too much stuff. Like since I've started releasing like 4 a week on, my private site, it's pretty much like doubled my income. So yeah, it makes sense to do it.
So wait, so on your free sites, you're posting 4 a week.
So on the tube sites,
Yeah.
I post 4 a week, and they're previews, so they're not full
Okay,
scenes.
so it's the full. Yeah, we started doing that.
Yeah, so they're not the full scenes. They're just previews. Typically, my full scenes are 30 minutes to 40 minutes long. I might put anywhere from 10 minutes to 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Depending on how long the role play is, depending on just I want to make it good. Sometimes I give a little bit more free to try to get some virality.
Yeah.
But I try to leave as much out as possible so people can
go to the site, obviously. Do you find that like, have you always done that? Have you always
I did
done
that from
like
the beginning.
that? You've done that from the beginning?
I did that from the beginning, the very beginning.
Okay.
I put out my first 2 videos free.
Okay.
And ever since then, I've only put out previews.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we started that.
Yeah.
Where it's going good. But obviously it's a lot more work, right? Because like on a tube site,
more editing.
you're just gonna be like, well, I'll do like a 10-minute video, right? And be like, all right, but then when you want to do like a full version of it, you're going at like 30 minutes and stuff like that. So yeah. Who was your first collab with? Do you remember that?
So I actually, when I started, as a guy, it's a little bit difficult to just like start collabing.
Yeah.
As a guy in the industry, you kind of have to build a little bit of credibility.
Yes.
You have to build a reputation. You have to be known as a safe person to work with. So in the beginning, I'd started booking models just through agencies.
Okay.
And doing paid scenes with girls who were doing mainstream industry work. And that's kind of how I got started. So the girl that I filmed with first, it was a paid scene, and she's no longer in the industry anymore. A lot of the girls that I shot with when I first started are no longer in the industry.
A lot of girls go into it thinking they're going to make money, but then they're not consistent. And then, you know what I mean? It doesn't work out. So outside of the work that you do, excuse me, what is a hobby that you have that people would be surprised to know about?
Surprised to know about? I'm not really sure. Most people could tell by like my Instagram that I'm really into cars.
Yes.
I love cars. I spend like way too much of my money on cars. My accountant is usually very upset with me. But it's just like something that I love so much. And it's something that I kind of like knew that I wanted. I just like couldn't afford. So I didn't think that I'd ever be able to
Mm-hmm.
have like the cars that I wanted. Like,
How many cars do you have?
just three.
Just three.
Just three right now.
Just three.
If I had like all the cars that I wanted, I would need a lot of garage space.
Okay, so which cars do you have?
I have a McLaren 720S.
Okay.
And then I have a G63 G-Wagon.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just bought an old Euro spec. It was imported from Japan. It's an E36 M3 BMW.
Okay.
And it's vintage. It's a 98.
Okay. Oh, I love vintage cars.
Yeah,
Those are super
and
cool.
I bought it too because it was it's completely stripped. There's like nothing inside of it besides like two bucket seats and
Okay.
a roll cage.
Okay.
So it's like track ready. And then the ones that they made for Asia and Europe back then, they never released them in the United States. They're significantly faster than the ones that they made in the United
Okay.
States. So they're a lot more fun to drive.
So how many cars would you have total if you had no limitations? Like what is your eye?
Lord, does
What
not
are you
exist.
eyeing on?
I would love to have 20 hypercars, Koenigseggs, Bugattis,
What's your
Ford
next
GT.
car?
I don't know. That's a hard thing to say. The McLaren 720S, I stage 2'd it, which means that, I did downpipes and I messed with the computer and I did a bunch of stuff to make it a lot faster. So it's so ridiculously fast that I don't know what I would really upgrade to have the same sort of experience. I'd probably have to spend a lot of money. And so for now, I'm just gonna keep it.
Keep what you
Yeah.
what you have. So I'm seeing we had Teddy Tarantino here, and it's like I see a lot of similarities.
Yes.
Both.
He's a great guy.
Yeah, he
Love
is.
that guy.
You guys were both in rehab. You guys both worked in like rehab facilities, and you guys are both obsessed with cars.
Yes.
So is this like a sober thing, a clean thing?
I think, well, a lot of people think that like when you stop, using drugs or alcohol or whatever, that like life gets boring.
Mhm.
And I couldn't disagree more. I think someone who's like clean and in recovery, like, we are kind of, addicts, especially when they get clean, but even when they're not, like we're very like obsessive and compulsive type of people.
Mhm.
And so when we find stuff that we like, we really
like it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we like get obsessed with it.
Yeah.
And we want to do it all the time. And so, I think a lot of like his success and my success is in the same way where it's like, we just really became obsessed with what we were trying to
Exactly.
accomplish.
Yeah.
And we just took that same energy that we used to have towards negative
Correct.
things and we put
Yeah.
it towards positive things. And
A happy ending to like.
But I
you
don't
know,
think
bad
everyone is
story.
like that into
Yeah.
cars like that. Most people like don't really care that much.
But you guys also have the money to do it, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always say, well, I'm not rich, I'm irresponsible.
Yeah.
I love
True.
that.
Yeah. No, I can't say the same about me. I used to be irresponsible when I was younger, and then like the older I get, I'm just like, shit. He wanted to buy a Porsche 911, and I was like,
Nice car.
hey,
It's a nice car, for
but
sure.
I'm still waiting on it, right?
Yeah, we moved to
Soon.
the States, so it's like I have no credit.
Yeah, we have no credit.
Still
that's the
waiting
thing,
to build
too.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, in
Wild.
Canada, our credit score is like 800 something.
And there's
here.
no mountains here,
There
A
isn't.
Porsche is good for the mountains.
Yeah, well, we'll
Here,
drive it back to
everything's a
Canada.
straight line here.
I
It
want
is.
I want an everyday car. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because Teddy's telling me, "Oh, get a Lambo," but I feel like it's too much.
Yeah. Well, a lot of my friends, especially Ted, they're like real flashy guys.
Yeah.
I'm
Where
not like
Porsche is
that.
more like stealth wealth.
Yeah, just
Exactly.
like,
I
just
like it.
chill.
But I hated on Porsches for a while now, but lately they've been kind of growing on
Okay,
me.
because Teddy's a hater on Porsche as well.
Yeah. The thing is, like, they are a little bit overrated and, kind of inflated in price too. But I go on these like car rallies a lot. And typically I bring my car, my McLaren. But in March, I'm going to a rally that starts in Vegas, then goes to Sedona, then Scottsdale, Arizona, then to Palm Springs, California.
Okay.
And I'm renting a 992 GT3 RS,
Sick.
which is kind of like, back when I was younger, kids loved like Lamborghinis and Ferraris and stuff like that. Kids these days, like they love the GT3 RS. That's like the best pinnacle of like supercar,
Cars.
the sports car, like. And so I'm only renting it because I want to see if it's actually worth the hype.
Yeah.
Like, I wanna
Might
see if-
sell your McLaren, bro.
yeah, I would love for it to like prove me wrong and blow me away and make me want to sell my McLaren.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's
Yeah.
I love
Stay
McLaren.
tuned. We'll have to wait and see. If you're watching this right now, I bet you care about how you look, feel, and smell, especially smell. And that's why I am here to talk to you about King Rilla. They make all natural soaps, shampoos, lip balms, and deodorants for men. But I'm not gonna lie, I use them as well. They use organic ingredients that keep you feeling fresh all day long. And trust me, you deserve to treat yourself like a king. So do yourself and your girlfriend a favor by visiting them at kingrilla.com. You won't regret it. Oh, and don't forget to use my promo code Lexis Star to get 15% off your order. So when you started in the adult industry, did you have any supporters?
Yeah. Well, I also think it's very important to say that like the way I got started was I was friends for many years with Alex Adams.
Yes.
And Alex Adams is like the number one guy on
He is,
on
yeah.
Pornhub. Like he's the most viewed person ever in porn, I think. I'm pretty sure. And
Well, he's in the top 5 for sure.
yeah, and he probably makes more money than everyone else in the industry.
For sure.
We're
And
gonna have
so-
to get him on the show though.
Yeah, so we had a lot of mutual friends, and I knew him for years, and we were close, but like, and I knew what he did for a living, but we were just friends, and I never even thought to like ask him about his job too much. He would tell me a lot of like funny stories
Yeah.
about, you know, girls that he worked with, or you know, things that he did when he first started or stuff, and we would laugh about it. But you know, I was working in the treatment center, and I was putting in a lot of hours every week, and I just got to this place where I felt sort of just unsatisfied with my life, and I was going to an office with no windows and working
Oh,
50
God.
hours a week, you know, waking up at like 7 a.m. to be at the office by 8:30, and then I get home and it's like 7, and I wake up and I do it all over again. Like it just felt very like I don't feel like I was made for that sort of life. Like I always felt like I was made to like live a little differently.
Yeah, more dangerously.
A little
more
bit.
adventurous.
Yeah. And so it was great while it lasted, but you know, I was kind of, I had saved up some money, and I was looking for another business. Like I was actively looking to start a business, and I'd never started a business before. But when I was younger, you know, I felt like that. I felt compelled to do something like that. And so I had saved up some money, and I was trying to like, I had a lot of friends that were like opening up like insurance companies and becoming licensed agents, and like, you know, owning their own like call centers. I had friends that were doing like moving brokerages, and there was all these like different avenues that people were making money that I knew of, that I had like, but you know, they were mutual friends of mine. But a lot of people that I reached out to, they kind of were gatekeeping. You
Yeah,
know, they
a lot of people do that, eh?
Yeah.
My God, yes.
Yeah, so they were like, they didn't want to, you know, tell me how it worked. They didn't want to like let me in on the secret.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of those businesses too were ones that were like, if I really wanted to invest in that, I'd have to go all in, and I'd have to quit my job immediately, you know. But when I asked Alex Adams if he could kind of give me some tips about, you know, how to start in the industry, like he you know, he gave me a lot of information. Like I owe a lot of what I have and my success to him kind of
Amazing,
introducing
yeah.
me. And he, you know, he would tell like everything I know about like role play is from him. And he would kind of like tell me about why the role play was so good.
Do you want to
like,
tell us?
well,
Or are you going to gatekeep?
well, I mean, I'll say
Damn, babe.
the real name of the game when it comes to role play is taboo. So like anything that's like wrong, or like the stigma that people think should be wrong.
Yeah.
Because there's so many stigmas around so many things, and like me being in this line of work, I'm very open-minded. So in my mind, none of it feels very taboo. But for most people, a lot of the role play stuff is very taboo. And so, you know, he was just he did a good job of like kind of explaining to me like how to make things like kind of seem real.
Yeah.
And kind of make it so where it's like really sort of enticing and you know, dirty or like naughty,
Yeah.
or like, you know, a little bit more, has a little bit more edge. you know, and it's something that he's like perfected over and over and
Yes.
over again.
He's really good at the whole role
Right.
play, but you are as well.
Yeah, and so I realized too that it was something that in the beginning, like I was not good at it. Like I was not, because it was so strange to me.
Yeah.
But now it's like I have released over 300 scenes, so it's like it's something that
Just comes naturally
I've
to you.
done over and over and
Yeah.
over and over
Yeah.
again. The more you do it, the more you kind of understand. And then I was lucky enough to be posting so consistently that something would do good and I would look at it and I'd be like, okay, why did this do good? And something would do bad, I'd be like, why did this do bad? Like what? I would try to like dissect my own videos. And then also like other people would, you know, go viral. And I was like watching all the other creators. And you know, I spent a lot of time looking at the most viewed page
Yes.
on Pornhub, trying to figure out like what is the best thing. And that's kind of like how I decided that the niche of role play was like the best for me.
Okay.
Because if you look at the most viewed page, it's kind of split between two different categories. It's usually like step fantasy role play specifically,
Yeah.
stepmom and stepsister, and then BBC.
Yeah.
And like that's typically that's typically, and I don't know if that's like politically correct, but that's the category that does the best.
Yeah.
And
you're not black, so you had to scratch that one off.
I kind of got pigeonholed into one.
role play.
Yeah. So and then of course, you know, what trumps everything in my opinion is like big naturals. That those, for some reason, the girls that have that seem to perform the best. But if you take big naturals and you put it in role play, or if you take big naturals and you put it in BBC, then it's the ultimate.
What do you mean by big naturals?
I feel like girls with big natural boobs.
Okay.
Like,
but there's a lot that look natural but aren't natural.
that's true. Now
you can't really tell sometimes.
These days, I agree with that.
Yeah.
You know, but I would just see at like, you know, I was just seeing and studying the most viewed page to see like what performed the best.
Yeah.
You know, and so I don't have big natural boobs. I don't have a big black. Yeah. And you know, so I was like, maybe I could do the role play stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And luckily, you know, yeah, so I had a lot of guidance. I did have a lot of guidance, yeah. And so I feel very like lucky and fortunate about that.
Yeah, if you have help, it obviously you know makes the process easier. I did we did like a MILF or like stepmom anal or something like that, and that just went like freaking you know. And then sometimes like just like you know, I go in like the most viewed videos, try to get ideas, look at the titles. But then sometimes it's just like, is it really doing anything? Is it really helping me? Because I think that titles are very important. And then I see some people who are like really big and their titles are just like very basic.
Yeah.
What's your take on titles?
I try to keep it pretty basic, actually. A lot of times you don't want to overcomplicate things.
Yeah.
You want to kind of keep it simple. Same thing with the role play. Like I've gone through phases where like in the beginning it was super simple because I wasn't really capable of doing anything else. And then as I kept doing it and I became more comfortable with it, I started to like make them more complicated. And then I noticed that when I started to make them a little bit more complicated, that they weren't performing as well. And so a lot of times there's like a lot of these like classic role play tropes that people love, like stepmom, you know, is just
Like,
something that like is a fantasy that goes way back in time. You know, and you know, is going to do well if done right, you know.
Yeah.
And I also think that I look at you know, role play scenes kind of like songs. Like it's like in the music industry. And I think like when you're an artist in the music industry, you're kind of in the studio and you're making these songs and you don't really know what song is going to be a hit.
Yeah.
I listen to a lot of like hip hop music, and a really popular song in South Florida is like No Flockin' by Kodak Black.
Okay.
And it came out years ago. And he made this song when he was like, I think like 17 or 18 years old. He was really young. And I don't think that he was expecting that song to do as good as it did, you know? And but it's like a really famous song where like most people in South Florida, like it's like the anthem. They know it by heart. Yeah. And if you listen to the song, it's kind of a simple song. Like there's nothing special about it. There's nothing you know, that it's like kind of like a silly song. It's kind of like a song where it's like it's a little bit of it's a little ignorant, but
Okay.
it's really catchy.
Okay.
And but you know, for whatever reason, like that song exploded
Mm-hmm.
and it became so ridiculously popular. And I think a lot of songs are like that. There's no real rhyme or reason to why it's so good, but there's something about it
Mm-hmm.
that people just really connect with.
Yeah.
And I think role play is a lot like
Yeah.
that, where it's like sometimes it's just the perfect storm of like banter back and forth and maybe a little awkwardness and maybe a little bit of like, you know, naughtiness or whatever you want to say, a little just the taboo.
Yeah.
If you can kind of tap into it and it kind of flows, then it really just people just really like it.
Do you ever get people who tell you like, "Oh, it's repetitive"?
Yeah, of course.
You know, I get that. I get that a lot because we just go with like MILF or stepmom, you
Mhm.
know, and I feel like we had a really good scene like in the kitchen, a stepmom, and it just blew up, and I'm
Yeah.
like, we're just gonna do the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, like you're
Yeah,
gonna do
exactly.
what works,
Of
right?
course.
And I'm like, oh man, this is gonna be so good, and I was like, okay, I guess not. You
Right.
know,
Yeah.
sometimes you think it's gonna like
Yeah.
do
And
amazing, and then they're like, no, we've seen this
Yeah.
before. It's like not quite, you know.
And there's
But-
ways to make it different. You know, I try really hard, but a lot of my videos are just like remixes of other videos
Yeah.
that I've made,
Mhm.
you know. And you know, what I've noticed too is that I don't pay attention too much to what people say versus like how it actually performs.
Mhm.
Because those two things are very, very different typically. Like I get my most hate on my most viral videos.
Stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So you know, it's one of those things where it's like you could say that you don't like this,
Yeah.
but the way that it's performing says otherwise.
Otherwise,
And
yeah.
so I started just focusing more on that because yeah, because a lot of people, I mean, I have tons of people that say like, "Oh, don't even do the stepsister stuff or don't even do the role play. It's such a waste of time." I get comments that are like, "Oh, just do yourself a favor and skip to the 8-minute mark when the sex actually starts."
Yeah.
You know, but I think step fantasy role play is just one of those taboos where like people don't want to admit
Admit
that
it.
they're into
Yeah.
it, but the numbers speak
Yeah,
for
they
themselves.
do,
They
yeah.
have to be into it because if they weren't,
Then people wouldn't be watching.
it wouldn't get millions
Exactly.
of views. It wouldn't get millions of
Let me
views.
ask you, when you're filming with a girl and you're like, okay, this is what we're gonna do today.
Mhm.
Like, is it scripted or is a lot of it just like, you know, we'll see how the vibe goes, and you
Yeah.
tell them like we got to talk a lot, you know,
Yeah.
or like,
So I never write scripts
Mhm.
ever.
Yeah.
It's all improv,
Mhm.
and so which like makes it a little difficult. And here's the thing: there's a lot of girls that I work with. A lot of times it's our first time working together.
Mhm.
So a lot of times I'll have an idea from their prior content if I watch it, or maybe from their Instagram, or maybe from their X page. I'll have a general idea of how their personality might be,
Mhm.
but I don't really know
Yeah.
until they show up at
Yeah,
my house.
exactly. 'Cause
And
it's
so
two different people, right?
Right.
Like,
Yeah, because there's some girls that are really good at like portraying,
Mhm.
and then some, you know, some girls not so much. So I don't really know. So a lot of times I'm bouncing around ideas in my head like prior to the shoot.
Mhm.
I'm like, well, if she's like kind of cute and bubbly, we'll go with this
Mhm.
this sort of skit. And then maybe if she's a little mean and bratty, we'll go with this kind of skit. You know, so I'm kind of like all over the place. And so luckily, you know, there's that part of, you know, shooting where you guys meet and you do some paperwork
Mhm.
and you might kind of talk a little bit, get to know each other,
Yeah.
kind of talk about what you want to create today. So while we're doing that, I'll get an idea of like their personality.
Yeah.
And then I typically ask them because I don't try to make people something that they're not.
Yeah.
And so if they are bubbly and cute or timid and shy or a little bit apprehensive, like I want them to utilize that.
Exactly.
It'll come out way better because if you try to make a shy girl bratty and confident, like
It's not gonna work.
yeah, you know, and then same thing with the bratty girls. If you try to make them more timid, like they're not always good at
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
you know,
exactly.
like,
You gotta work with what you got.
yes, and I'm
Yeah.
a big believer in that. So sometimes I have these like great ideas, and then when they show up, I'm like, oh no. Like I had to completely change what I wanted to
Yeah.
do because this skit is a good skit, but not
With
for
her.
this girl.
Not for this person.
So
If you're watching this right now, I bet you care about how you look, feel, and smell, especially smell. And that's why I am here to talk to you about King Rilla. They make all natural soaps, shampoos, lip balms, and deodorants for men. But I'm not gonna lie, I use them as well. They use organic ingredients that keep you feeling fresh all day long. And trust me, you deserve to treat yourself like a king. So do yourself and your girlfriend a favor by visiting them at kingrilla.com. You won't regret it. Oh, and don't forget to use my promo code Lexis Star to get 15% off your order. Did you ever have a scene or like, not a scene, but like when you were working with somebody and it just went like completely sideways? And did you ever have like one of those moments?
What do you mean by sideways?
Well, it just, I don't know, you guys couldn't finish it, or like the vibe was off, or there was attitude, or I don't know.
Yeah, there has been a couple cases where I've been filming. Typically on like paid shoots, I'll do, and this will be like discussed prior to us shooting, that we're doing like 2 different videos. So instead of making like one long production that's like, 45 minutes to an hour long.
Yeah.
Where like typically girls are on set for pro companies for like
a long
6 to 8 hours, sometimes even 12 hours. My sets are not like that. They're like 4 hours tops. And that's if we're making 2 different videos.
Okay.
So a lot of times when I do like paid work, I like to split it in 2 and do like 2 20 to 25 minute videos. And so a lot of times, the only times I run into issues is when maybe a girl's been on set for more than like 2 or 3 hours and we're on our second, shoot. And for whatever reason, they feel like, and it rarely ever happens. That it's only been in like twice in like 3 years that
not bad.
Yeah, that basically I decided when that happens too, I'm just like, okay, like if you don't want to work, then I don't want to work.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where it's like, it's unfortunate, but and I'm probably not gonna work with that person ever again. But I don't really like take it too personally. I'm just like, whatever it is that they have going on has nothing to do with me.
Exactly.
It's probably some personal problem that has nothing to do with me. So I kind of just treat it like that. So other than that, not really. There have been maybe a couple other cases where I booked a couple girls for a paid scene, and when they showed up, they didn't really have the best attitude.
Okay.
And I don't ever expect anyone to like kiss my ass.
No, for sure.
But it's one of those things where it's like, you gotta at least act like you kind of want to be there a little bit.
But it's your job. Like you're being paid. You're getting paid to be there. So like at least
Yeah. And
like,
I don't even need chemistry. Like I could work with. I've worked with.
I don't need chemistry.
I really don't. I say that all the time. Like I like to keep things professional. If there is chemistry, obviously that's wonderful.
Yeah.
But a lot of times there's not.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Like there doesn't have to be. And on those days I'm like, well, we're working today.
Yeah.
And but I don't. Yeah, so I don't need there to be chemistry, but I need it to work.
It's got to work.
I need it to look good, because if you don't want to be there, they're gonna see that on camera. When the camera is rolling, they're gonna see that you don't want to be there. You're not enjoying it,
and then the viewer's not gonna enjoy it when they see that the person.
So in that case, there's been a couple times where before we even start shooting, and a lot of times I could tell too if they don't want to take pictures or if they're not interested in making reels.
But you gotta maybe say that to them prior. You know what I mean?
Oh no, I do.
Yeah.
And here's the thing too, is like, most of the mainstream pro girls are used to doing the pre-shoot things, all the time. Like, and so, and this is very rare that this happens, it really is. Like for the most part, I have like wonderful experiences, whether they're just professional or whether we end up being friends for a long time and have great chemistry and we work together multiple times. But yeah, every once in a while, before we even get started, I might say, hey, like, I'm having some technical difficulties. We're going to have to cancel for today.
Hey, it's Lexis Star. If you've made it this far, I just wanted to take a moment to thank you for sticking around. If you are enjoying the show, I would love if you could subscribe. Now, why would I ask you this? The more subscribers we have, the easier it is for me to bring on fun, exciting, and entertaining guests on the show for you to enjoy. So let's keep the conversation going. Now let's get back to the show. Who would be one person that you'd love to do a scene with that you haven't done one yet?
Oh my God. There's so many. I don't know who at the top of my head. Probably like Autumn Falls.
Mm.
Autumn Falls would probably be like the top.
But does
for
she
me.
do?
I don't know if I don't think she's doing mainstream anymore. I think she's still doing like her own content.
Okay.
Also Sky Bree. They're both like I don't know how much of like BG content they're making, and if they are, it's probably like with their significant other.
Yeah.
You know,
Shout out to them.
Yeah, but both of them used to regularly make content, especially Autumn Falls at one point was like doing a lot of mainstream stuff.
I'm trying to think. I have an idea of who Autumn Falls is.
Yeah.
But let me just see
She
if
has natural boobs, right?
She does.
She's
Yeah.
a pretty girl, right?
Yeah, very pretty girl.
Let me
There's
just
other
see.
girls too that are like newer that
Oh yeah, she's pretty.
yeah.
Those
Then-
are natural?
I think so.
They look great.
Yeah.
So have you hit her up?
I don't know if I have. I don't really. There's some girls that are so popular I don't even like bother. But I guess now I probably should. Just to see, it can't hurt, you know. In the beginning, I would message like so many girls.
Well, yeah.
like,
All the guys
and
are just like
almost never get a response. But I never took it personal. I always knew that most girls don't even run their accounts.
yeah.
And so they don't even see the message anyways. And most of them have thousands of messages to sort through.
Yeah.
With a bunch of guys that claim to be producers that aren't really
Or
producers.
guys who like just want to, I want to get into the adult,
Right.
make a movie with me.
Right.
Yeah.
So I've never taken that personally. Lately, it's a lot of like the recommendations that I get from other people or like references or it's just word of mouth from girls that have worked with me and they're like, oh, like I did a scene with Scott and it did so great. You should really work with him. You know,
But I mean, you've reached a level now where you kind of don't even, you know, it kind of comes to you, right?
Yeah,
So,
a little bit.
So
A little bit more now, yeah. But they're still,
easier.
you know, so those girls are probably like girls that like are probably, I don't think that they're interested at all in like mainstream
Don't say
work.
that. It's going to happen. You
Well,
never
we'll see.
know. You never know.
We'll see.
You got to be
You said
positive
if there was
about it.
anyone, so.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to ask you a few rapid fire questions, okay? So, lights on or lights off?
I like the lights dimmed.
Okay. Oh, that's that's a good one. A planned scene or spontaneous?
I like planned.
Okay.
I'm a planned guy.
Because that then you know what you're gonna do. And
Yeah.
social media DMs, blessing or a curse?
Also blessing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you ever get any like weird DMs?
Yes.
What's the weirdest one you've got, if you can think of one?
A lot of times.
And is it from girls or guys?
Oh, it's always guys.
Really?
Girls don't hit me up.
Okay.
Most of the weirdest stuff that I get is like guys that want me to like, you know, have fun with their wives.
Really?
And stuff like that. Yeah, that's probably like the weirdest it gets. It doesn't get like that weird, you know, but there's a lot of guys that would
Want
like
that,
me
have
too.
that fantasy.
Yeah.
That's
And they want to
fun.
be involved too a lot of
Really?
times. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I get a lot of like requests.
Do they
for that
want to tickle your pickle?
Yeah, I think that they would probably do a lot of things, you know, with me if I agreed to it.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
Oh.
Let's just clear that
Yeah.
out. Let's just.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what is your favorite platform to create for?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Well, you know, as of right now, I would say Pornhub.
Mm-hmm.
Pornhub like changed my life.
Mm-hmm.
Like the viewership and the traffic that I was able to, you know, drive to my OF
Mhm.
has been like the reason for so much of my success. But I'm about to launch a actual pay site, an actual membership site, which has been a long time coming. It'll be householdfantasy.com. And it's like more my brand, my role play with, you know, the girls. So it's all gonna be my videos,
Your content, yeah.
my content, yeah. And I have like full ownership of the site, so I don't have to like fork over 20%
Yep.
to. So I'm really, really excited to start doing that and putting all my energy into that. And we'll probably be launching within the next month or so.
Nice.
Right now, I have 200 videos that have been backlogged and uploaded, but we haven't officially launched yet.
Okay.
I really don't want to launch until all my videos are on
up there, yeah.
So I have over 300 that are out currently. And I have a really bad habit of not hiring people to do things.
Yeah.
I like to micromanage and do things myself because I know they'll be done right.
Yeah.
And so I've been doing a lot of it myself, just me and my assistant.
Mm-hmm.
We've been kind of working at it for like a month or so now, just all the uploading of
That's
my
a pain
entire
in the ass.
discography. Yeah.
Freaking uploading is the worst, but
Yes, but
it's gotta be done.
that's by far what I'm most excited
Okay.
about is posting on there, my actual website.
Morning shoots or night shoots?
Morning, all day.
Yeah, same. Coffee or energy drinks before filming?
Ooh, energy drinks.
Energy
I'd say energy drinks, but I like a peach monster Rehab. That's like my favorite because it's non-carbonated, so you drink it in the morning and you feel like a normal person. Drinking a carbonated energy drink
In the
at
morning,
9 a.m.
yeah.
is kind of
But
a
just
little
just
nutty.
pointed out that energy drinks in the morning are not good.
Yeah.
Regardless.
Oh, for sure.
We know that.
Not
right?
healthy.
Okay, not healthy.
Yeah. But I used to be so unhealthy that like that little vice.
It's not bad. Yeah. It's like compared to what you used to do. Scripted or real chemistry? We spoke about that
Real
before.
chemistry
Yeah.
all day. Beats everything.
It
Trumps
does.
everything.
Yeah. 1000%. So where do you see yourself within the next 5 years? What do you have planned for your brand?
Next 5 years. Next 5 years, I'd love to be bi-coastal between LA and Miami. I really didn't start going out to LA till like maybe a year and a half ago. And now I go quarterly. And I really love it there. And I ship my cars and it's so
You
much
ship
fun.
your cars every time you go?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Well, it's like really fun to drive the roads that
Yeah.
are out there. So I really want a house out there. As far as my business goes, I'd really like to grow my studio account and my website to be like one of the biggest, production companies like in the industry, and most popular. Um, and at some point in time, I'm not sure when, probably not 5 years from now, but maybe like 2 or 3 years from now, I'd like to start having some guys like working under me producing, and become like a real studio.
Okay.
I like the idea of, I believe that like what I'm doing with the POV roleplay stuff, I believe that it can sort of be like replicated if you get guys that are, good at it and are safe to work with and are like good people. I think that that's the most important thing. But I would love to give guys a chance that maybe don't really have the opportunity because they don't have the money or they don't have the means or they don't really understand the way, and give them an opportunity to kind of like live the sort of lifestyle that I live now and be able to make their own thing, and then I could be a little bit more hands off with my business, but still make some money because they would be, working under
But
me.
the more that you grow, the more help that you need, right?
Very true.
We started off small and then we just kept getting bigger and bigger. And then now we're like, okay, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of micromanaging. It's a lot of little things. And that's what like I can't do. Like give me a big task and then that'll be a lot simpler,
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping as I progress within the industry, like it's been almost 3 years now. And if we fast forward 3 years, it'll be like 6 years. And I think that I hope I never lose my excitement for making content, but I do think that it might lose a little bit of its excitement. I don't know for sure how I'm gonna feel about it in the future, but I like the idea if I'm in a place financially where I'm comfortable kind of taking a risk and gambling on other people to try to see if maybe something happens. Like I'll be that will be more exciting to me than what I've been doing for the previous 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
I think it'll be like a new chapter where I try to be more of like, the boss than the talent.
But I feel like for us as well, right? The more money we make, the more we're like, okay,
Want to double down.
So you're gonna find something that you're gonna want to do where you're like, okay, now let me try this, and you have the means to do it. You know what I mean? So Scott, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
This was awesome.
Yeah, I love
I
it.
just wanted to let you know though that in 2026 I am coming for your spot on Pornhub.
Oh, I'm bringing it on. I want to see you at the top.
You know what? My goal is to
I want to see you pull up in the Bugatti.
I just want to be right. You're gonna.
I want to see you park the Bugatti next to my McLaren, my Koenigsegg.
Oh man. So thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you next week. Scott Stark.
All right, guys. Bye.